Ugh, I hated this episode. It was confusing, didn't make sense, had Apple Bloom in it, it was obviously just pandering to Inception fans, plus this really stupid fan service, and... What? Oh, thank God. I only dreamed I didn't like this episode. Man, what an episode. It's the episode where Apple Bloom finally gets her cutie mark, and then gets it again, and again, and again, and then doesn't. This episode sure is a treat. With the show's 2 previous Dream episodes, we've had some pretty standard nightmare fighting / Christmas Carol stuff, but never some completely absurd next-level Inception dream-walking action like this. People who complained last season that Josh Haber's writing wasn't creative sure must be eating their words now. What's especially clever is how the episode uses the nested dream idea to effectively teach essentially 3 small morals in one episode. At the beginning of the episode, Apple Bloom lists 3 distinct anxieties about if she gets her cutie mark. The first is, what if she gets a cutie mark for something that she doesn't even enjoy? The second, will she lose her friends in the Cutie Mark Crusaders if she gets a cutie mark? And lastly, will she be forced out of the Apple family if she gets a cutie mark unrelated to apples? Applejack tries to put these worries to rest with a nice lullaby, but they still make their way into Apple Bloom's dreams, in the exact same order that Apple Bloom listed them, no less. The first dream shows Apple Bloom with a cutie mark she doesn't like, i.e. pest extermination. The second dream has Apple Bloom with a cutie mark she likes, but now she gets kicked out of the CMC clubhouse. The third dream goes even farther when she gets kicked out of her own family when her cutie mark is something completely unrelated to apples. And the fourth dream is just completely whack. Using dreams to tell this episode's story is ingenious because it adds much more meaning to the story. Without the dreams, the episode would have basically just been Apple Bloom saying, "I'm worried about this," and everybody else saying, "Don't worry about that," which isn't very satisfactory either for Apple Bloom or for the viewer. But being able to see Apple Bloom's fears actualized in this way fixes that. Despite the dream's absurdity, it makes the situations that Apple Bloom is worried about feel more real, because you're actually witnessing them as opposed to just hearing Apple Bloom talk about them. And absolving Apple Bloom's worries within the same dreams also makes the solution feel like much more than a simple "don't worry about it." So while the dream format provides a grounding for the otherwise vague what-ifness of Apple Bloom's conflict, it also provides a lot in terms of entertainment. What? Oh, thank God. I only dreamed I was a brain in a jar. So as I was saying, the episode's dream format does a lot to the simple entertainment value of the episode. MLP is one of the few shows I've seen that accurately depicts just how weird dreams can be at times. Dreams can throw the weirdest stuff at you, and you probably won't even think anything of it. And this episode does exactly that, with lots of background elements that gradually get more absurd as the dreams go on. In the first dream, Apple Bloom is woken up by a rooster, and Applejack has made pancakes for breakfast. Second dream, the rooster somehow lays an egg and falls off the windowsill, and Applejack has made some very extravagant pancakes. Eventually, the rooster becomes Pinkie Pie in a chicken suit, and breakfast consists of cinnamon rolls, honey, dog biscuits, and punch, with fish in it. These details are funny, but they also add something to the story. All these gags appear very shortly after Apple Bloom wakes up from her previous dream. This signals to the viewer that Apple Bloom is indeed still dreaming, without making it something so obvious that we would expect Apple Bloom to notice. This allows us to watch the rest of the scene without being confused by things, such as why Sweetie Belle and Scootaloo are suddenly acting like jerks, because we all know that it is just Apple Bloom's anxieties being acted out, but it also lets us watch the rest of the scene without frustration. Had the show used a more obvious signal to indicate dreaming, we may have expected Apple Bloom to take notice as well, and then be annoyed when she couldn't figure out that she was just dreaming. Not to mention, the episode has a lot of very clever use of lighting techniques. What? Huh? Oh, thank God. I only dreamed I had an OC. Anyway, I haven't talked about the episode's conclusion yet. Finally, as we all expected, Luna intervenes on Apple Bloom's dreaming and explains to her that all her problems fall under the same umbrella of worrying about who you are, which is all that a cutie mark really represents. And that's not something you should worry about, because your friends and family will love you no matter what. At this point, Apple Bloom feels embarrassed that she would ever worry about this in the first place. And that's where we get into a secondary and arguably even more important moral of the episode. Luna shows Apple Bloom dozens of doors leading to other ponies' dreams, and in particular shows her the dreams of Sweetie Belle and Scootaloo, who are facing exactly the same problem that Apple Bloom was. This sends the message that you shouldn't feel like you're the only one who has some problem, because there will always be other people who are struggling just like you, and, more importantly, you can help each other to overcome these problems. That's a message that I think everyone, not just children, will be able to take home from this. And there you have it. A very interesting approach to storytelling. Oh, thank God. I only dreamed I was a brownie.